what to write about. Trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist. Am I worth anything or just a scout?
That was Great Sounds Watts with Outside on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, with my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made. Doing his morning stretches. His name is Easy Blues. Easy Blues, you're better with introductions. Oh, Easy Blues, you are better with introductions more than me if I can barely speak. Who do we have with us today on Behind the Brand? Go ahead, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump in that DeLorean. We're going to throw it to 88 miles an hour, and we are going to go back to the future because you have to truly understand there was a moment in time where I was standing at the doorway of the house that was state. And in that moment, there was a human being sitting upon the stage saying some of the most beautiful, realistic lines I've ever heard in my life. And from there, I knew it was time to level up my lyrical game. When I heard the true poetry of healing hurts like you're swallowing bruises, I knew forever we were changed. And there, as they led a chorus of other amazing souls, in yelling and understanding the beauty of a baker's dozen, because you know, and you know. Can't say it on the radio, though. I want you to put your hands together for an absolutely incredible soul. Put your hands together for a phenomenal lyricist, and put your hands together for just someone that brightens the elm of Elm City every time they come through. The amazing, the phenomenal, the beatbox poet themselves, Myles Bullen.
Thanks. Wow. Really appreciate all the applause around the world.
Oh, definitely.
There you go. Well, no, see, it's so super interesting because, you know, the State House means so much to New Haven. It meant so much to New Haven, but it really was a place where, you know, art was able to go free. And I remember literally the first time I saw you doing a sound check, I was like, this is totally different. And this is something that is massive, that, you know, you can massively get behind. And also, oh my gosh, it's actually okay to be completely open about your journey and your healing through the music. Was this something that you just came upon on the first open mic you ever went to, or was this a long discovery on who you were as an artist?
Yeah, do you want the shorthand or the long hand?
Long hands.
Whichever you're most comfortable talking. Yeah, well, he's like longhand.
Let's do
I
long.
want War and Peace, the unabridged version.
There you go.
Well, thank you for all the nice things you said about me. That's really nice.
You know that I super love you. I mean
Yeah.
that is like, yeah, you know what I mean. You are a homie.
I would say it's completely unrealistic to assume that anybody can do the thing right away.
Right.
You know, it's completely unrealistic to expect somebody to. I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Wow.
So this isn't I did it the first time I did it. You know, it's like
Yeah.
the first 100 times I did it, I sucked. You know, I sucked for years.
Mm-hmm.
You have to suck for years. You know, you have to like not be very like not know what you're doing, or just do different things. And so like when I first started, I definitely didn't know what the goal was. You know, I did it. I had different motives. Part of it was for me, though. Part of it was catharsis. Some part of it was like, you know, doing this helps me understand my trauma. Doing this helps me understand the life that I've lived, and it lets me understand my grief. It's been a way to process grief. It's been a way to process like healthy and unhealthy relationships. caused by other people, caused by me. Like doing this performance art, this music thing has just taught me a lot about where I've been and where I'm going. So like at the point that you saw me at was just like, yeah, I've been doing it for a very long time, you know? So, so no, I haven't been doing it like that for very, very long. It's kind of a recent honing, you know, where I've really started to zoom in and get more and more aware of why I'm doing it and not caring about, you know, it's cool that you like it, right? It's cool that it resonates with you. And I used to only do it for that, right? I used to perform so people would like me. And that's like a very like egocentric thing that's really hard for people to admit. But a lot of people want to be performers because they want attention. They want to look cool and they want people to like their stuff. And of course, there's parts of me that want that. But over the last couple of years, I've been so depressed. I've been so close to just giving up everything and never, ever performing again. Like just quitting everything, just never doing this ever again. I've gotten to that point. And I sat there and I dwelled in the like, I might never, ever do this again for so long that now when I perform and now when I write a song, my intentions are so much more honest. My intentions are just so much more like focused on like, what am I giving here? What do I have to give? And like, what am I processing here? And it's like, it's way more important that what I'm doing, I love than it is for you to love it. It's way more important to me that what I'm doing feels good inside my body than to impress somebody and make someone else think, oh, that's so good. That's a really cool thing. So since my intentions switched from trying to impress people to trying to like feel good in my body and feel good about what I'm doing, the response has been a lot better. More people are liking it. More people are resonating with it because I shifted my intention behind it to be a little more self-centered and a little more selfish with like why I do it. Is that helpful?
No, actually that's extremely helpful, and I'm actually super glad you brought that up because you know a lot of artists aren't going to look at it that way, and we talk on the show all the time. You know, you have to pop yourself. You know, and that's you know what I love about working with a band is you know I can physically see if I say something or do something that makes one of the other members like smile or giggle or even miss a beat for a second because you know we have to have fun within yourself and that's what projects out there, and that's the one thing that honestly from you know first seeing Chesky perform to then also seeing you perform as well, that was something where I knew I had to go back and work on that as an artist because I you know also have that stupid competitive gene that you know artist upon artist upon artist, like okay I must master this now and become Mega Man. And you know, you guys actually did that to me, so thank you.
Well, Chesky, I had a huge head start in the poetry music world because I saw Chesky perform when I was a teenager.
Oh, there you go.
I saw Chesky perform 13 years ago. You know what I mean? So like, and Chesky's a rare. If anyone listening to this doesn't know the artist Chesky, Ceschi, Chesky is just a rare one of one. Alien, like not from this planet, performer, songwriter, multi-genre instrumentalist. And so like to witness that as a youth and to see what one person could do with writing, with poetry, with vocal techniques, with screaming, with singing, with rapping, with whispering, with silence, with noise, like the way that Chesky manipulated the space and changed a concert into a church. You know, he made a concert into like a punk rock church where people are just screaming as loud as they can, every lyric to every song. That I got to experience that as a youth, and I realized like that's what I want to do. I want to be embodying art in this way that changes the audience from like an audience to from a spectator point of view to a performer point of view, and I want
Mm-hmm.
to even the balance, and I want to get inside of the audience, and I want to become a part of this choir, right? I want to be more of a vessel and less of a spectacle.
Mm-hmm.
And so just seeing performers like Chesky, over a decade ago, already gave me the blueprint to like, oh, we can do it different.
Yep.
We can do it different. We don't need to do it like everyone else is doing it and failing at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we can do it like this and be effective on a small scale. You can do it for 300 people, right? You play at the State House sold out, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it with 10 people though, and have that same
Mm-hmm.
amount of energy and that same amount of love in the room. Like it all depends on how we're engaging with our people. And so yeah, huge shout outs to Chesky for like paving the way on like breaking a lot of walls and breaking a lot of like boundaries between like you stand on stage in front of a mic and you sing your little song and then you leave. It's like it's a whole different experience when you get people invested and engaged in what you're doing.
Whew. No, that is so super true. And also, I love that we're giving Chesky the flowers right now because again, everyone knows my pure and unadulterated love for Chesky as well. But just so you know, you do it as a two. You don't necessarily do it in a church type of aspect of it. The way that I always picture it is this incredible kind of like punk rock kid show. And no, I'm like dead serious. I've always looked at it like that. Like you were like the punk rock Mr. Rogers, or
Mr.
and it is
Rogers.
such and it is such because
You gotta break
there's
it
such a
down.
soft energy.
Okay.
Well, there's such a soft energy and such an educational energy that goes through,
Mm-hmm.
and even when you're in the moments of your purest pain and vulnerability, and showing the world that it is okay to be, mask presenting and vulnerable in some of the most incredible ways. You're also there as the educational aspect. Like you're not only we developed a ritual after anytime I see you perform, and I just have to give you a hug because that is the energy that is there of like, thank you so much. You took us on this incredible storytelling moment. And that was the most twisted three little bear story I've ever heard. But it happened.
Man, I feel like I'm in church right now.
I think you are.
It may not be
Myles.
It may not be a Baptist church, but I feel like I'm in a church right now. I don't know what to call it. Got Myles giving out gospel. We got you giving out a couple inspirational words. I don't know how to put myself into this. I'm just a fly on the wall as we speak. But yeah, you guys are awesome.
You are a positive and inspirational person too, sir. Do not ever discredit upon yourself.
Not right now.
Like I said.
Not now.
Right,
in the moment,
fine.
No.
Mess.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, but yeah, man, just what you guys are saying, just reaching out to the audience and just making a moment. I mean, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And like we saw, because we were all at the co-defendant show just a couple days ago, and it was just great to see. There was times when there was just no vocals even said, and just the times when it was just silence, people were connecting, we were entertained, and within those 3-hour time frame, it felt so long because we were just so in tune what he was saying. Like it's a rarity at a independent show. You never see anybody really take out their phones. People are really in tune and they don't want to miss out what's going on, and I really think it's beautiful. And I unfortunately get a chance to see you, Myles, perform, but Easy told me great things of how you connect with the audience and how you're impactful to others. When it comes to just inspiring and just like reaching out to the fans, besides Chesky, who else did you learn crowd control from?
Crowd control.
Wow. Yeah. So many people.
Right.
Preston, I am at this point in my life, I'm very fortunate to be taking my career like full time, and it's been a very long road to to be at this place where I can do this solely with most of my time, and be like the main source of like how I get by.
Right.
Which means I'm on tour a lot because I live in Maine. I can't play Maine every month. You know what I mean? There's not much in Maine. So like if I play Maine once a month, I'm already kind of overdoing it. So I try to play Maine like, I don't know, every other month or a few times a year compared to how I used to do it. Which means I have to do a lot of shows to make money and to like build my business.
Oh man, I need to count my blessings. Your winter's probably horrible than mine down here in Connecticut.
Oh, it's way worse. Or way better, depending on.
If I got 3 inches of snow, I'm not gonna just complain anymore. Oh Lord, Maine. Oh my God.
Yeah, Preston, I don't even want to tell you, but for real,
I don't want to trigger you. We just talked about trauma. I don't want to put any more trauma on you when it comes to shoveling, and January is coming soon. I don't want to put that on you right now. This is a peaceful time.
So, anyways, long story. I was kind of tangenting, but
I got you.
I tour so much, right?
Yeah.
So I'm on the road a lot, and I typically don't do it alone.
Right.
I almost never tour alone anymore. I used to. I used to do a little solo tour where it's just me going to different cities by myself. But I really prefer touring with my friends.
Of course.
And as Easy knows, I have a lot of talented friends, a lot of really amazing friends, like friends who I look up to and I'm inspired by. Friends like Chesky, friends like Raspberry, friends like Folk Punk Dad.
Awesome.
These are all New Haven folks at the moment. So like I get really spoiled and lucky to tour with people who I look up to and who I'm inspired by. And who are genuinely like some of my best friends in the world.
That's great to hear.
So it's really hard for me to point out any more people because there's like I could just name drop for the next hour.
Right.
All the people who inspire me.
Yeah.
There's so many, and it's across all genres. Poets. As a youth, I started going to poetry open mics, and that really showed me a lot. As a lyricist, I was getting really into rap music and really into like punk and metal, and I kind of grew up as a metal kid. I used to go to metal shows as a teenager first. And then so I went to metal shows, and then I would go to poetry open mics, which you think are very different, but there's so much you can learn from both places, right? Metal shows are so engaging, between the pits, between the screaming along, between the like intense energy, and then you go to a poetry mic and you have this quiet, attentive listening, all eyes on you, all ears on you, and all minds actively engaged, like the intellect that's just like sizzling around in your brain when you're listening to someone perform a poem. You're listening to a story, you're making out metaphors, you're like feeling emotions, and you're feeling like all of this stuff is going on inside of your head in silence, but it's like screaming at you. Right? It's like a metal show. It's like a metal silent disco to me. I was like, yo, there's so much intense energy in my heart listening to these poets go in and be vulnerable and like rip apart my heart. It's the same. It's just like in a different way. It's in a quieter way. And the atmosphere is quieter and more supportive to engaged listening instead of just like insanely screaming. So anyways, I pull from a lot of those two places, and then like rap music kind of sits in the middle where there's a lot of yelling, there's a lot of crowd movement, but it's lyric driven. It's very poetry, and you can how you say something will get some people interested, but what you're saying will get people invested.
Like WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven, myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City Made on terrestrial radio. We have Myles Bullen in the building. Go ahead, Easy Boo. I know you got something to say in your system. Oh, you don't? I got something to say then. Okay. You said as a youth, Myles, you said
Okay.
as a youth. How old are you? Because you still are a youth. You're like fresh out of 21, 22-ish. What is old to you? Seriously, because like you said youth, and I got a little confused. You still look like you have the fresh car smell on you. Go ahead.
I am the ripe young age of 54.
Oh Lord. Well, they say 50 is the new 30, so go ahead. Do you, man? I'm
just kidding. I'm 31 years old. I was born in 1992, February 3rd.
Lord. Oh my goodness.
My social security number is 666.
Oh Lord.
Well, no, it's super interesting because I love how you spoke about going to poetry open mics, because I actually dragged Prestige to the local one that we have out here,
yep.
And it was very much like that, very much that quiet aspect until I jumped up there and started screaming. It was too quiet for me. Screams needed to happen. You know what I mean? It's just I got uncomfortable. But it's so super interesting because you start, and we're starting to see it more and more on this show. We're
right.
getting these incredible humans on the show that are living and breathing the art all the time. This isn't, okay, I have to, punch a clock and go be this personality for the next 4 to 8 hours. This is realizing I can just get up and be myself. And in truly being myself and engaging in myself and appreciating the beauty that is around me, even in the most ugliest of beauties, still seeing the art there, I can not only nourish my soul, but I can play this horribly stupid game of capitalism and not lose. I might not, break the bank win, but I'm not going to lose. Does that make sense, Myles?
Yeah, I like to say, yeah, absolutely. But just to clarify the way that I identify words, I don't look at being an independent artist as association with capitalism. I need to be really clear on that for my own mental health as well. But I do not feed capitalism via entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship through the arts in the scale that I'm doing it at, in the scale that most people that are doing it at, is no different really than getting your basic needs met,
right?
Which is survival. So capitalism as a functioning tool to become wealthy, or with the goal of having others underneath you, is very different than somebody getting their needs met via entrepreneurship.
Right. And
so I realize that capitalism is an umbrella that we're all underneath, but our entrepreneurship isn't holding the umbrella handle.
Yeah.
Right. Entrepreneurship is under capitalism, but it is a separate way of going amongst like people and deals and transactions.
Well,
and so I like to look at those as different ways of being and ways of thinking that, like, we can choose to be a part of capitalism in a way that feels really bad, right? Feels really awful inside of us. But we can be entrepreneurs in a way that uplifts our dreams and the people around us, right? The people who buy into me, the people who support me, are being uplifted in other ways, right? We all are winning when we support each other, right? When we build a community of artists. Like, I've probably have bought more records than I've sold this year, and I've sold a lot of records, but I keep like I support my friends as much as possible. I support my community as much as possible. And that's different. That's not capitalism, right? Walmart doesn't support me if I go and I buy something at Walmart. You don't see Walmart sending Myles Bullen check, right? So, but it's different, right? So, like, we're building our own ecosystem, our own grassroots DIY, like, under the radar system of transaction to support each other, and that is very different form of exchange that you would call something like capitalism.
Well,
so I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad you did because it's super important. And also, I clarify as well. Kind of what you're talking about, and really what it is it's that barter and trade aspect. It's not. It's you're getting this service, and we're hanging out, and we're building a community of it. And right now, this world needs this verse, or this world needs me to jump on stage with an umbrella. This world needs. Well, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. Like there are these moments. I'm a huge fan of making sure you live art in every aspect of it. Like I will walk through your local grocery store, and whether it be a mom and pop or a conglomerate, I will probably break into a dance break because I just feel the moment needs it. I don't care that people are going to look at me like I'm insane. I need that for that moment. And there might have been two or three other people that are in that store that were having the worst day of their lives, but they just see this big bearded tattooed man, breaking into song through the headphones. It's not even the track you're listening to while you're pushing your cart. It's completely bizarre, but it's needed, and you found this way to build a community and to help sustain that community by this barter and trade aspect. Does that make it sound better for you?
I mean, sustain is a weird word because it's new and it's
right,
and everything is temporary, including the performance.
It's true.
I do a 35-minute performance and it's done. It's gone. Where did it go? Where's the proof of it? Didn't
Myles,
happen.
Myles, I love you. I love you. Language, brah. Language.
On WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven.
I know.
Terrestrial radio. Behind the brand. Let's keep the good energy going. We're smiling. We're having a good time. Continue your answer. We hope we
were just saying
Let's just keep on going.
So, anyways, so it's gone.
After so relaxed.
After you're done, you're gone. It's gone. And then so it's such a temporary thing. And so it's hard to know the longevity of something that like I'm doing or any artist is doing. And that's why we're so focused on the moment. We're so focused on this is happening now. It might not happen tomorrow. It might not happen next week. You may never see Myles Bullen perform ever again, right? That's the reality.
Don't say that to me. Don't say.
But that's the reality of our temporary nature.
I do not accept that reality. I do not accept that reality. I'm sticking my tongue out at that reality. Don't say that to me. No. Shame. Don't. Shame. No. And speaking of shame, there needs to be the next time you come out here, we'll put together a show because now that we're back and the energy is actually positive. We would love to. I would be honored to share a stage with you, just so you know.
Set it up. Let's do it.
All right, let's go. Sounds like a plan.
Set it up.
All right, you heard it, Prestige. Set it up. We gotta figure out.
Oh no, that's
Have you been to the cellar?
Job. The cellar's a good.
Have you been to the cellar in Treadwell yet? No, you haven't. It's in the same parking lot as the ballroom.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wait,
food's delicious.
Yeah.
No, in that parking lot.
In the same parking lot is the building in the middle.
Where they used to have burgers there? Where they have burgers there?
They still have burgers there.
Yeah, they have burgers and stuff there. Yeah.
Still have burgers, still have great food there.
They were just closed on Sunday. Yeah. Got a good stage and a great sound system.
Yeah.
Right. Let's talk.
Yes. All right, cool. Yay. But sans all that, as you are continuing to evolve, you just last year, I believe, released the newer record. You're always working. I always see something pop up as you're the featured upon a Wata track, which was dope, or you're making this incredible art with Chris Condi. Where is the next evolution? Like what's the little teaser we can sprinkle upon the cliffhanger ending?
Putting out another record on Fake 4. That'll be in March.
Nice.
That's really the only thing I can say. Oh, and I'm working on a project with Pink Navel from the Ruby Yacht.
Really?
Pink Navel.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, Pink Navel is putting out a project right now with Kenny Siegel, who just put out like Billy Woods and Rap Ferreira and put out a bunch of amazing stuff. So Pink Navel's putting that out, and then we have a project together, which I'm really excited about.
That's all. That's awesome. I actually am very interested to hear sonically how you guys complement and clash at some point. That really is very super interesting, and the wordplay is going to be fantastic.
No,
So,
yeah.
Is Pink Navel a band, a rock band? Like, what's Pink Navel? This is the first time hearing about it.
No, they're a producer and a rapper.
Oh, okay.
They're living in Boston. They're out of
nice.
Boston.
Yes.
Cool.
They're on like the Ruby Yacht label crew, which is like Rap Ferrara and folks.
All right.
Yeah, they're so talented. They have their own. They create an entire different ecosystem, like musical ecosystem, just within their self. Very like glitchy, cartoony, video gamey beats. Very like messy on purpose type stuff, like
an MF Doom type of feel.
Very inspired by MF Doom, but even more avant-garde, even more out of the box, like playful and colorful and mixing. Like, but yeah, definitely inspired by MF Doom, for sure.
Okay.
And then their content, their lyrics are just so like dense and intelligent and brilliant, but like poetic and weird and all over the place.
Okay.
Super positive and wholesome. And they come from like emo bands. Like I remember talking to them, they like a lot of like indie rock, like emo stuff.
Okay.
So like their vocal performance is like they're a rapper, but they also like yell and can sing, and they have all this like abstract like blending of genres within.
Also, kind of like Gorillas in a way.
Like who?
Like Gorillas.
Oh, Gorillas! I haven't thought about them in a while. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, kind of. So it's kind of like when you listen to Gorillas. Yeah. I got you. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. All right, cool. I definitely give them a check.
Yeah, you got to listen to them. I can't
no
compare them to any mainstream artist that you've ever heard of.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
No. Yeah. That's yeah.
Yeah, I can't compare them to.
Yeah.
But I get the breakdown. I appreciate
the
breakdown. I really do.
Yeah.
The breakdown makes sense.
Yeah, I guess this has just been a Chesky Pink Navel support episode.
Nah. But like,
love snitching.
We're learning from you. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning
and that's
from this.
The funny thing.
Me, so
because also Prestige, gets it all the time where I will drop you or Chesky's name, a couple of times. Anytime we're on the air, I'll talk about a particular show or something like that. And actually, we had Justin Arena on the show as well, and they, we started talking about you and Chesky. This is just, I'm sorry, but we are a New Haven radio show, and Chesky is New Haven, and if anyone has a problem with that, they can send that email to Prestige, because I don't care. I'm just saying.
But with all these great bands, Myles, let's get back to you. What are some of these great cities that you perform at, and what cities need to see you?
Ooh.
Every city needs to see me.
I like that answer. It urges confidence. I
go anywhere there's an offer.
Okay.
And I've been a fan-driven musical bus for forever, since I started. People have been reaching out to me, email or social media, or even at shows. Like I met Easy at a show. Like people meet me at shows. People meet me at the merch table. Meet me on the internet. And request that I come and play their city. So if I get an offer, I'll be there. Nice. That's I think anywhere in the world. I pretty much am down to hear people's offers. I'm down to consider playing anywhere at any city. So that's the easy answer for where I should play. My favorite cities, unbiasedly, not being biased.
Yeah, of course.
New Haven is one of my favorite cities to play.
There we go.
I really do love New Haven a lot. New Haven loves me a lot. Very sad about the State House closing, but I also am like, all good things come to an end, sort of. And I'm actually, it's kind of cool that it ended on such a beautiful way. Like, like so many people were supporting and out to those last few shows. I heard a great, great about. I didn't go to all the shows. I just played one of the last shows, and I remember how important it felt to everyone to be together, and something new will kind of rise up out of that. But yeah, I love New Haven. I love Providence, Rhode Island. Huge shout out to Providence, Rhode Island.
Providence is a great city.
Yeah, my friend Jesse the Tree is there. He kind of introduced me to the city and the community there. He put me on a bunch of shows years ago, and now it feels like a second home. I feel like I spent a lot of time there. My friends Bocheck, another amazing band, they live out there, and I love seeing them and spending time with them. And then I guess like my last city, if I were to outside of my home city, if I were to give another one, just a random one, Arcata, California.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. Arcata, California. If you don't know about it, most people don't.
Right.
It's in the middle. It's at the top of California. It's like the very right before Oregon, on the coast. And it's like the redwood forest. It's like the biggest like redwood forest. Tiny town. Like you could walk the whole town in like an hour and a half or 2 hours or something. It's like very small. Like amount of people. Not a lot of people live there, and it's super tight community, but I love it there. And I love the people there, and I always have like the best show of my whole tour ends up being in Arcata, California. A lot of poets out there.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, those are my top three. I think for the U.S. at least is New Haven, Providence, and Arcata.
I'm watching this video on YouTube. It's animation video that you have right there for your page. It's called Swallowing Bruises. What was the inspiration behind that? It's really beautiful just watching it. It seems like you're telling a great story.
Yeah, Swallowing Bruises I wrote after my dad died.
Oh, man.
So in 2019, was my biggest year that I ever had at the time. I was like, wow, really doing this. I did the full send, and I toured I did 150 shows that year. I just toured constantly. And I felt like I was really gaining some momentum, and I just felt really good about my life, and I had all these tours booked for next year, and I was like, yes, I'm finally like going full time on this art thing. And then in February of 2020 or January of 2020,
right,
my grandfather died.
Oh, man.
My dad was like living with him and like taking care of him, and then he died January. And then in February, my dad drank himself to death. He died. Killed himself pretty much. And then in March, all my tours got canceled and everyone was at home. So I was just like dealing with a lot of grief and a lot of letdown and disappointment and sadness and frustration and to be completely transparent, I'm an addict, right? I've been sober for 10 years, but I know I'm an addict. And one of the things I do to like stay normal is do shows. Like I travel, I meet a lot of people. I'm an extrovert. I make friends, right?
Of course,
so like
of course.
I'm interacting with like 100 people every day for an entire year. And then I go from and then I go to just being home by myself, with my partner, with my dog.
Right.
And I love them both a lot, but I need a lot. I need a lot of stimulation and other people and new things. So I'm just like grieving. I'm sad. I just like everything sucks. I'm thinking about never ever doing a show ever again. And then I just write like 60 poems and songs just about being sad. I was like, these are awful. I'm like, I'm never gonna share these ever. I don't want any of this to be seen or heard. I'm so embarrassed. Grieving is really embarrassing. It's not it's not attractive at all to feel weak, and alone, and insecure and sad. But then eventually, after I wrote all these songs, I just like, moved on, and I like did other stuff. I started sewing projects and drawing again and exercising, trying to build healthy routines and grieve properly. And then I went back and I looked at all those songs that I started.
Mm-hmm.
And Swallowing Bruises was the first one that I was like, okay, I'm gonna actually like put this in motion and see what it, like, if I fully give my attention to it, what could it turn into?
Mm-hmm.
And the beat was produced by my friend Paul. What's up, Paul? He sent me a beat, and I put the lyrics to the beat, and then I just recorded it, and I felt good about it. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I sent it to Chesky actually, and he loved it. He thought it was really good, and then so I recorded the song. I sent it to my friend Josie, who did the animation, and Josie killed it, absolutely slayed it. Like lyric for lyric, metaphor, every metaphor was like animated in time, and it moves really quickly with the words, and it's simple. It's like wholesome looking. It's like really sweet about this really heavy, traumatizing feeling of like losing someone you love from addiction.
Yeah, no, and just so you know, one, thank you for your transparency. One, in your performance, in your writing, but even on the show right now, thank you for trusting us enough to share your truth. I just wanted to give you the flowers for that. I know that can be difficult. But also to spin some interesting evolution of that. Swallowing Bruises was literally that first line was the moment I knew you were someone I needed to pay attention to. From that moment, I knew, like, there are moments as an artist where
you're on
you'll see things on
WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island Raised, Elm City made, EZ Blues is in the building. Back to you, Easy.
Oh, you are chocolate silk. That was so smooth.
Don't call me chocolate silk, but continue.
All right, fine.
Love you.
Fine. Love you too. So you see it on the bigger scale. You see it on certain things. If you're tuning into different aspects of the radio or going back through musical history, as an artist myself, I will listen to something and I'll be like, okay, I need to be better. I need to evolve to this level. I remember, listening to Childish Gambino, and going, oh my goodness, I am not that good at metaphors. I need to be better at metaphors. And from that moment and that line, I knew I needed to work on myself as an artist, and I needed to be a lot more open. And it was okay to be open with the struggle aspect of things. So you had inspired so much that I went and I had to get by, a Healing Hurts shirt. And one of the shirts that you have a big Healing Hurts thing on the back. For those who follow my journey, I connected with my father's family, and I took a trip up to Rhode Island to watch one of my cousins play lacrosse. And I met my aunt, who was the matriarch of the family. And we were able to snap a picture of me wearing the shirt. You see the Healing Hurts in the back, giving this incredible woman a hug. So that is forever captured in wonderful art, where literally life imitates art. And I wanted to give you that reassurance now, because you just were so open and vulnerable with us. I wanted to make sure that there was a little bit of payoff for that.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. Yeah, that's really sweet.
Yeah. I'll send you the picture. Not that you really want to stare at my back, but at least you have it for like a moment. Be like, oh yeah, I remember that moment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. So, and that's what's so incredible. As things continue to move on and move forward, and the world gets a little crazier and crazier and crazier, it is the art's responsibility to give everyone that release valve. And sometimes that means we have to, the artist has to be brutally honest. I always go back to the Co-Defendant songs, Brutal. Heroes are human and humans can be flawed. That includes us playing We're Not Immune. how do you get that reassurance that continuing to, as Mark Twain once said, writing is easy. I just open up a vein and bleed all over the page. How can you continue to do that and get to those moments of vulnerability and still recharge yourself? What is your self-care? Because we're telling everyone all how to open our hearts completely to the art, but it's also the art is a petty mistress, and can hurt us as well. How do you self-care?
That's a loaded one. My immediate answer is sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't take care of myself. It's impossible to expect someone to be healthy all the time, to always know their boundaries, to always know what's best to do at every moment. So I'm constantly running on like 3% battery life. Not just physically on my phone, but as a metaphor to my energetic and emotional well-being. So sometimes I don't take care of myself. Things I do to take care of myself are like, what your general doctor would tell you is like drink water, like eat food that has like nutrients in it, exercise, like go outside, get sunlight, walk more, like, very basic stuff like that might seem super easy, but when you're like depressed all the time or you're like really sad, those things seem impossible. Those things seem like completely unachievable, unreachable. Like you reach forever and you'll never get to those things. So getting those things down, the basic needs that will just like give me a little dopamine rush or whatever, a little serotonin hit. Those things are good. Those things help me recharge. Silence, taking long walks, being by the beach. I live by the ocean, which I know is a privilege in itself. But if you can get near water, water is a great way to recharge. Just being next to water and realizing how tiny and insignificant you are can sometimes wash away all the negative thoughts you have about yourself. To be like, I don't mean anything to anyone. No one cares. Like, tiny compared to this gigantic ocean. This
as the
powerful force.
Yeah, as the great poets before us have stated, we are merely a speck of dust in a giant's eye, but
absolutely
a female giant, and which is awesome. And right now, unfortunately, they are starting to wheel in the curtain upon us and calling it a show. But we want to give these last couple moments to you, Myles. How can people get in touch with you? How can they invest in you as an artist? How can they get to know you further as a human being? And how can they become sonic siblings, which is a phrase I'm now trying to, I found that it's the genderless phrase to be able to call all your, people you love playing music with. So how do they become your sonic sibling?
Ask a bird. Ask a tree about me. Ask a tree about me. Go to a river, follow that stream, you'll find me. Flip a rock over, I'm under the rock. Climb a tree, I'm in the nest. Hike a mountain, I'm at the top of it. Lay in the grass. When you lay in the grass for long enough and you start itching on your shoulders and your back, that's me. You find me everywhere. I'm everywhere.
That's so original. I love it.
Yeah, that was by far the best send off we've ever had on the show. I can't wait to clip that, man. That's gonna be
amazing.
That's gonna be my new ringtone. That's gonna be my new ringtone. It's that right there.
Thank you all for having me on. This is really fun. Just talk and stuff. So
yeah, dude, you are a phenomenal human, and I love furthering getting to know you. And I look forward to whatever the next chapters have to be, whether that be sharing a million stages or a cup of cha I'm totally down for whichever way the adventure goes through.
Appreciate you, Myles. On WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven, myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City Made, Easy Blues.
I was thinking of that scene in Men in Black where the guy's like, more sugar.
More patience, more practice, more colors to paint with. Potatoes, molasses in a school for animals. No faith in the fascists, or lovers and activists. Artful, disastrous design, holding captivating signs. The human mind is held hostage, practically confined. I'm sifting for gold in a desert and I'm thirsty. Sifting for gold in a desert and I'm thirsty. In the beginning, all the sand was one rock. Drawing through the mind's eye, writing love notes with stethoscopes until that drum stops. You played rapper for the weekend. I spent 1,000 lifetimes in silence till this art started speaking. Conduit for finer things, like ordinary magic. The infinite making, this instrument plays me. The bird on my shoulder tells me to say things. Simplify, get lost inside the nuance. Lost inside the nuance. Self-esteem surrounded by selfish dreams. You wanna kill the throne kings, but you also wanna own things. What does freedom mean to someone who's never seen it? We find impossible things to believe in. Simplify, get lost inside the nuance. Get lost inside the nuance. A conduit for finer things, like ordinary magic.
It's ordinary magic, avoiding the sadness. No calendars, all the mirrors turned backwards. Light it, quit. It's one pack of matches. Sleight of hand, but my handle is savage. Got a tighter grip than some might imagine. Imagination, if you think you're gonna catch me lacking. If I'm asleep, the stocking cap's satin. If it's a nightmare, I'm ready for whatever happens. It's waking life where something's not right. Something like ice forming, sharp at the edge, absorbing sound, muffling light. The Walking Dead like syndication, right? Marionettes make as if to fart. Marionettes make as if to fart. Ordinary magic, avoiding the sadness.
Simplify, get lost inside the nuance. Get lost inside the nuance. A conduit for finer things, like ordinary magic.